It is too sunny. Yeah. Hello, hello. How are you guys? Hello, hello. NXT, we're doing a review. Oops, I still have this up. Thought I put the other one up. But NXT, while I change this real fast, I will say this, they actually surprised me. We did not have a lot of outside interference, which I did like, which means we got to focus on the NXT stars. I did like the main event, the women main eventing, Zaria and Sol Ruca. What a great match. This is Sol Ruca going to put her on the thumbnail. That's why she's there. This was her, you know, goodbye to the NXT universe, I will say. I will say this, I haven't really been watching in the last month, maybe I'll be honest, on a regular basis. Maybe I'll watch a match or two. But this is the first time since I knew I would be live here. I actually sat down and watched a full episode, and I will say it's not a lot of TNA shit being involved. Wasn't no main roster people on there. Wasn't I don't even think it was involved people. Maybe the girl with the skirt that was at the restaurant, the little young lady. Maybe she's on NXT, or maybe she is an involved member. But it wasn't a lot of outside stuff. It wasn't no sexy red. I really enjoyed NXT tonight. I am very shocked. And I will be tuning in next week, surprisingly, for a live episode watch. I'm actually going to watch live again because I did enjoy tonight. So Ruka put in over Zaria, very sweet. I feel like they're going to have that Trish and Lita feud, that Liv Morgan and Rhea feud. They are going to be that generation next after Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. They're current. They may be here for the next 10 years. Let's give them that. They're current, but I do feel like in the next 5 years, these girls will be current as well. So they will have that feud like a Liv Morgan and a Rhea Ripley slash friends, kind of like a Trish and Lita. I feel like these two, their careers are going to keep crossing throughout their WWE career. Let's be honest. We kind of see that with Rhea and Liv, and we saw that with Lita and Trish. I will say this, I did enjoy Ricky Saints getting a sneak attack. I do think he's handsome, so I'm a little bit biased, but I do like him a lot. I will say him getting a sneak attack was good. This does worry me a little bit that he's not going to the main roster. Because again, if he's going to the main roster, why would they set up a feud for NXT if they have plans for him to go on SmackDown? I thought maybe if he wasn't caught up on, if he wasn't a Raw member, he would get caught up on SmackDown, but clearly they're kind of setting him up with the feud. If they're planning on setting him up as one of the top guys in NXT, I wouldn't be mad. But if he's there just to keep just being there, just to be there, because they have no other plans for him, I don't know. Wishing him nothing but the best, but I was kind of wishing to see him wrestle, but I guess next week I'll see him wrestle, so no worries. But I will say this, he was not the breakout star to me because he didn't wrestle. I did like that Speed Championship match. Again, I'm not even looking at the notes yet, but or the results. Don't know their names. I will say, what's his name? Lexus King. Do remember him from AEW. Do see that he's getting a push in NXT. So I am happy for him. Don't know if he is ever going to be like a main star on the main roster. I almost think what's his name? Joe Hendry got replaced by Danhausen, if you think about it, with the comedy shit. Let's be real. If they wanted him to be the comedy person, they would have called him up on Raw, but they have Danhausen right now, so they don't really need him. So kind of feel like their gimmicks are too similar right now. But let's get back to this. Lexus King, is that his name? He is the new speed champion. The person he was facing, I was impressed. I will have to look at the results to get his name because I haven't really seen this man before, but was a great match. I think it was like 3 minutes. I think the time limit was 5. Um, Again, I'm not even looking at the results because it was a good show, so I really remember a lot. Blake Monroe versus Tatum in a casket match. I did enjoy that as well. Blake Monroe, I thought maybe she would get called up. It looks like they're going to keep her in NXT because it seems like she's really upset not being the NXT North American Women's Champion, which I'm very surprised that this is the storyline or the route they're going for, her being the mid-card champion. But I am thinking maybe because her reign ended abruptly due to the botch, that they're trying to make her eventually win back the championship that she lost, and that she will have a proper reign with it. Maybe they want her to hold the belt for 200 days. Maybe they want her to be the longest reigning NXT North American Women's Champion. So maybe they had some plans for her. So if that's the case, don't mind it. Um, Tatum, what I would say about her, she reminds me a lot about Daphne from TNA. So I do like her a lot. She's very different. She gives that golf side. She also reminds me of Roxy Laver. Isn't that her name from TNA? The Voodoo Queen. She kind of reminds me of her as well. She also reminds me of someone new to the game that has some kind of different aura from the rest of the division. So, again, she retained. It was a good match. It could have been the main event as well. So, the ladies killed it. Tonight, women's wrestling did shine, which I did like. I did like, again, Sol Ruca putting over Zaria, them hugging on top. It was very, you could see maybe kind of breaking the fourth wall. They're kind of having their last moment together because clearly Zaruka is a Raw member and they don't plan on taking Zaria with her. Because again, if that was the case, they would have brought her to Raw. They would have this match next week, right? Why would we have to have it on NXT if Zaria is on Raw? So clearly, Sol Ruca was doing the honors for Zaria. So I did like the hug they had. I know they have a lot of history together. Again, they're kind of like the Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley feud. The Trish and Lita, they're the kind of rivalry that the fans like, and also their careers keep crossing paths. So I do know they will cross paths again, unless one of them says, hell with it, I'm going to TNA or AEW, but I doubt it. They have some good careers. It's very promising. That's what I would say. I can't really guarantee what will happen, but their careers look very promising. And maybe Zaria can take over the NXT women's division now that Sol Ruca is now making her presence known on that Raw division, when she did this Monday Night Raw, when she made her debut on the main roster, interrupting Liv Morgan, and she put up a great fight, but she unfortunately lost due to Zaria interfering, which again, if Zaria was going to stay on Raw, we would have had this match next week, but we're having it here because Zaria is staying. Oh, thank you. How are you, Michael? How are you? Hey Anthony, I'm doing great. Actually, very shocked that I liked NXT. I know I talked a lot of shit about it before because I was very over the celebrity bullshit, the TNA bullshit, all the time, the main roster bullshit. But tonight it was about the NXT roster and their storylines, and I was very impressed. The wrestling was good. Women's wrestling shined. Lexis King, great match. The competitor. Let me just get the results out now because I said my initial thoughts without the results. That's what I like to do. But now that I said my thoughts, let's get to the results. Okay. The girl with the skirt. I ain't gonna say nothing about her. The girl with the skirt, with the black skirt, with the backstage. I ain't gonna say nothing. She looked very young. I love the confidence, so I ain't gonna say nothing. Mm-mm. But Miles Bourne versus Dion Lennox for the NXT North American Championship. This was a great match to start NXT. Miles Bourne is a true star, and he did, keep his belt. I will say this main roster bound. No, I feel like he will be kept in NXT for another year. I feel like he will shine this year with the roster shakeup. Ethan Page, that is the spot gone. I feel like more people will be part of the SmackDown shakeup this Friday, so I feel like this is his time to shine. Dion, I do like him. Uh, I don't like the group, so sorry. He is handsome to me, but I don't like the group. I kind of wish Wesley was still part of NXT, just being honest. He should be on NXT. I know he's in AEW, which I'm happy for him and the Rascals, but I feel like he could have been an NXT World Heavyweight Champion and he could have been the face of that division. And that was a very missed opportunity and a lot of money missed as well. Because that is how confident I am that he could have been the face of that division. Mr. Wesley, Desmond Xavier. And the only reason I'm mentioning him is because I remember him and Dion had a match that I liked. Which again, Dion, I feel like he is a star. To be honest, he could be a breakout star, but he's with this odd group. So I don't really know if he could break out being part of this group. Joe Hendry versus Keon Caver. Sorry, I'm mispronouncing, but Joe Hendry got his ass rocked. I do remember watching this match. Was a little confused because I thought the direction of Joe Hendry was to get a massive push after coming from a TNA heavyweight champion and being basically the face of TNA. Let's be real. I know he had an NXT championship reign, but still, I don't know. After this, he kind of looked weak. Can we maybe say it was an off night for him? Maybe that's what we'll say. Maybe it was an off day for Joe Hendry and it didn't make him look weak. Okay, this is the name of the guy. Ek Prosper versus Lexus King, which I told you already. Lexus King won the championship, the Speed Championship. I don't know. What do we feel about this? This was originally a X, or what you guys used to call it, a Twitter exclusive belt, but then it became a NXT belt once the show stopped airing on the on X/Twitter. So now it's a regular NXT belt. What do we think about the belt and Lexis King winning it? Is it something to laugh at? Because you do know that the AEW fandom, they're going to have a field day that this is the only championship he can win. It's the Speed Championship, which is not really a meaningful belt. Or do we feel like this is a belt that's going to help Mr. King soon be the main NXT champion? Again, I don't know much about this Speed Championship because, like I said earlier, I haven't really watched NXT in a while. But let's see. 4 minutes and 31 seconds. That's it. Okay, I was wrong though. It was only a 5-minute match though. The limit. But let's get on. Tatum Paxley in 12 minutes defeated Blake Monroe, which I did tell you guys it was a great match. So both ladies have nothing to be ashamed of. We did see a video package of Kendall Gray. I don't think we really needed that because I do recall her, even when I was watching NXT, she was appearing on there. So she was kind of like a Roxanne who used to appear on Raw, but she was still part of the NXT roster. She was kind of like the same. She was part of the Evolve roster, but showing up on NXT. So I don't know if we really needed that, but we got a little background. I guess she's officially an NXT member, so I guess that's why we got a full video package about what she did in high school and shit. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to care, so okay, yeah, okay, girl, yeah, okay, that's what you did, girl. So yeah, that's what this was about. But I do feel like she is a athletic wrestler. She's very unique. She has a nice look. She reminds me of my favorite actress, Sandra Bullock. So yeah, she kind of reminds me of her face. Very beautiful. So don't know if she's German. I'm not sure what she may be, but very unique look. Let me see. Kendall. And if you can, I remembered, please like and follow. It does help. I post at least 3 times a week. What is her nationality? Kendall Gray. Oh, she's American. Okay. She got a unique look, though. Do like her. It's very unique. Reminds me of Sandra Bullock. Do like it. Like, even like with the ponytail, she still looks unique. You know, a ponytail is a very simple hairstyle, let's be honest. So, okay. She's a star. She could be a very big star in NXT, especially once JC Jane leaves for the main roster. I feel like if they're not going to push Fallon, she could be the next girl. They could be that main spot. Kind of like that Roxanne, that JC Jane spot. She could have that. Fallon, if she's going to stay in NXT, she better hope she gets a mid-card championship. If JC Jane gets caught up without the other two, Fallon and the other girl that replaced the one girl that left. I don't even know the new girl's name. Who's part of this group now? Fatal Influence. She's pretty. I do like her, but damn, I don't know her name. She hasn't been there as long as the other two girls. But still, she better hope she gets a mid-card championship reign, because I don't know what's next for her. If they don't want main roster run, they don't want her to be that NXT Women's Champion. If they don't want her to be that NXT North American Champion again, which they could make a storyline about it, you know, stating that she was the champion once. I felt like at once she was the vocal point of the group. I felt like she was the champion, and JC Jane and the other girl, they weren't the champion at one point. So things have changed. happy for JC Jane. She went from Fatal Attraction and being the one that wasn't the prettiest one from the Mandy Rose and the Gigi. Everyone always argued about who was the most baddest of those two, but she was always like, oh yeah, she's there as well. So she came a long way. I know that sounds mean, but still, I'm just being honest. But let's go see if there's anything else that I missed. Nope. Sol Ruca versus Zaria, last woman standing match, which was great. Zaruka put over Zaria, so it was a great match. Zaria won. I would give NXT Revenge. I do apologize. That was the name of the event. What is the premise of this? Is it like Judgment Day? NXT Revenge. Let me see. Does it have a wiki? It should have a Wikipedia. What is it? NXT Revenge is a 2-week special television event for WWE's developed brand NXT, airing on April 14 and 21st, 2020 on NCAA. Feature high stakes rematches and storylines stemming from standing delivered PLE, including an NXT title match in the last. Oh, okay, so that's very unique. If it's 2 weeks after their biggest pay per view, which this year I will give it to WWE. It wasn't the same weekend. I think before it was, so it was very hard to keep up with the Hall of Fame, NXT, the pre-show. So I'm glad it was the week before, but still, sorry. But still, it is unique that they have another TV special called Revenge that's based off the pay-per-view. So that's very unique. I'll give it to WWE. Very unique. I do like it. And it's 2 weeks. So it does keep the momentum going. Because after their biggest pay-per-view, Stand and Deliver, you have 2 TV specials that keep it going. So do like it. But let's see. Did I miss anything else? I'll give it an A minus. I will say this. I did not recall that Triple H is still involved with the NXT brand. I thought he was only involved with the main roster. So again, maybe it was brain fog and I just forgot. But once I saw the ending credits and I saw his name, I'm like, huh? I thought it was only Shawn Michaels that was involved. But I guess he's involved as well. But let's see if there's any NXT news before I get off. NXT news. Blake Monroe, again, don't know what they're going to do with her. If she's going to be a North American Women's Champion again and a second reign, trying to make her the longest reigning North American Women's Champion. I'm not sure. Doesn't look like main roster. I mean, she did lose in NXT. That would be a little silly if they would put her on SmackDown after she couldn't even win the mid-card championship on NXT. That would be a little bit silly, don't you think? Like, okay, I lost that match. I couldn't hack into NXT, but hey, I'm on SmackDown now. Joe Hendry, again, former TNA champion, the face of that brand. Let's be real. Again, he was the face of TNA. Didn't look too hot. Maybe he was tired from the Hall of Fame this past weekend. It made him tired. I'm not sure. Dion, again, this group, Dark States, was going to say Dark Order because I'm tired, but Dark States, I do apologize. He may have to ditch him.
Okay, so WrestleZone.com gave it a B minus. I gave it an A minus. So this is good. The person that beat Joe Hendry looked very powerful. I will give him that. Um, him and I don't want to stereotype, so never mind. I was gonna say him and Worskies, they would be a great tag team and could dominate that tag team division. Only saying that because the tag team division kind of needs some new blood, especially with Johnny Gargano and his partner going to AEW. And it seems like the Usos will be involved with the Bloodline storyline with the Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns. So it seems like they won't really be tagging. They will be more the minions again for Roman. If they're going that storyline again, or if they're going a different direction, they're actually going to be a tag team while being part of the bloodline with Roman and not just being his lackey and actually doing things outside of just him. We shall see. But still, they need a lot of tag teams. Tony D'Angelo, don't really know much about him. I know he's been in the company for a while now. How long has he been part of WWE? Let's see. Tony D'Angelo. Let's see. Ricky Saints again should be the champion, but I'm a little bit biased. When did he sign to WWE? 2021. I knew it. I knew that name for a while now. He signed a development contract with WWE on February 24th, 2021. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5 years now. Okay, so I don't know what they're going to do with him. I mean, 5 years later, and he's still in NXT. Damn, it could have been like 3 years in NXT and maybe 2 years. I mean, maybe he signed after maybe in NXT, what, 2 years? Hold on. Let me see. Oh no, I'm wrong. I said, let me see. Maybe they gave him like 2 years to train a little bit before his debut, but no. Tony D'Angelo made his WWE debut on October 5th, 2021. Okay, so he made his debut, I guess, apparently in October 2021. He signed on February 24th, 2021. So they gave him maybe a couple months to train, but he did still make his debut in 2021. It's now 2026. So I guess they're giving him the belt clearly, but is he going to be main roster bound? Are they trying to see if he could be the face of NXT? I will say this. I do want to see someone oddly have just a career in NXT where they never go on the main roster. I know that's very weird to say, but it would be very unique to have someone have their whole career just being on the NXT brand and maybe making some appearances here and there on the main roster. I feel like it would be unique. Let's just say someone is the face of NXT for 5 years or even 3 years, or maybe they're NXT for 7 years and they don't have the championship, or they're just having great matches, but then they have these great reigns. I mean, it would be unique. I don't know if we had anyone like that yet who has a great long tenure in NXT and still well respected with the fan base, but that would be unique. Something different. I feel like this would also make the NXT brand feel, I know it's supposed to be developmental, but the way they use it sometimes it doesn't even feel like it. It feels like it's a third brand of WWE, but it'll make it feel more prestigious if they have people that just have a career there in NXT. I mean, not everyone's going to be a star on the main roster. Let's be real. There's going to be some people that are either going to make it on the main roster and get released and never really have a career. And then you could have that option where you make them an NXT star and that's where they end up and that's where they stay. But they make a career in NXT. Maybe they're the face of NXT for 4 years. I mean, maybe they can be like an Athena. Isn't she like the face of Ring of Honor with her long damn fucking reign? Can't they have that in NXT where someone's the face of the NXT male division or women's division for years? Where when you think NXT, you think about them because they've been there so long and they have a well respected career. Still a WWE employee. Still can do some main roster things like the Royal Rumble. You don't have to be a main roster person to be in the Royal Rumble. We know that. You can be an NXT star. So you can still do that. Again, don't know if they're going to consider it a third brand at some point, but the way they treat it, it does feel like it, YouTube. But no one really talks about it, but I do feel like someone having their career, again, being in NXT would be unique. I would say this, she comes to mind, but I know it really wouldn't have went anywhere if she would have stayed in NXT all these years later. But if Asuka would have ever stayed in NXT all these years later and then just retired in NXT, but still keeping her undefeated streak, but being that one main attraction where you think about NXT and the women's championship or the women's wrestling NXT, you think about her because she was only there in her WWE tenure and she was undefeated, so she would be like a well-respected woman since no one could ever beat her ass in the 8 or 10 years she was there. So again, I do feel like NXT could do something like that one day. You have people in TNA that do that. They're just known for being in TNA and that's it, and that's where their career ends. And that's no shame either, just being a TNA star. Not well known, but respected if people actually like wrestling. You know, even if you don't watch TNA, you still know who the best wrestlers are of TNA. What time is it? Child, I gotta be up at 6:30. Oh gosh, it is 11:04. But I do want to say this. A minus again, YouTube of NXT tonight, April 21st, 2026. Again, April 21st, 2026. Breakout star tonight, Zaria being put over was nice. Lexis King winning that championship. I know his opponent will have his day one day, but Lexis King. Am happy for him, even if it's the Speed Championship. Happy. Blake Monroe and Tatum, great match. So again, Zaria and Sol Ruca, great match. Women's wrestling got to shine. Women's wrestling main advantage. So again, A minus, liked it a lot. NXT, I will be tuning in next week. So hopefully I am just impressed because it won't be this NXT revenge. Hopefully they still bring their A game. If it's not a lot of sexy red, twerking, TNA, interference or TNA references, and it's more about just the NXT talent like tonight, I'm a fan. No main roster people like a Sami Zayn coming. Oh, because he was in town, he decided to have a match on NXT. No, I don't want to see that. Or I don't want to see Austin Theory backstage. No, I want to just focus on the NXT talent. So tonight, maybe since it was the revenge and the response from NXT Deliver. They were just focusing on their stars. I hope it's like that next week, even though it's just a regular NXT, no TV special. Hopefully, it's just the main focus is on their stars. But I am done. I will be live this weekend. I will post when I'll be live tomorrow, so I can give at least 2-day advance. So thank you for those that support. Michael, Anthony, thank you for the comments. Those that watch the replay, thank you. But I am done. NXT was very impressive. Sol Ruca, you got the thumbnail tonight. Your goodbye to the NXT universe. You putting over Zaria. Best luck on the Raw roster. She reminds me of Charlotte Flair, a fresher, younger version of her. No offense. Michelle McCool, she reminds me of her. Very athletic. Sol Ruca, she reminds me of. She is maybe more Spider-Man, Catwoman-ish. Her doing the what's her name? What's the Soul Snatcher. Her doing the Soul Snatcher and her jumping and shit. I don't think Michelle McCool or Charlotte Flair really did anything like that. Maybe the natural selection you can say with Charlotte Flair, but it's not as impressive as this. So you can say this is kind of like it, but tweaked a bit the natural selection. But I do feel like Sol Ruca is a star. So congratulations to the Raw call-up, NXT A-. Shawn Michaels, I did enjoy the show. Saying that because he blocks me, yes, because I used to comment on the NXT Twitter page while watching saying I did not care for the show. Why are the main roster people coming? Why is Austin Theory here? Why is Sexy Red here? Why is the TNA star here? This is so whack. Focus on the NXT talent. He ended up blocking me. So, tonight I actually liked it. I can give him his props. But I am done. I'm on X, Bluesky, Instagram, TikTok, and Instagram. Did I say that? Marquelworld. Clearly here, YouTube, Marquelworld. I post at least 3 times a week. But again, I'll be live this weekend for a wrestling gossip session where we gossip together. But this is Marquelworld. All things pro wrestling news in my life. YouTube, NXT, great show. A-. See you guys on the next video.